What's up, just Samantha?
What's up, guys? So this is what it comes down to me, right? Learning on YouTube and how tit for tat is the rule that it goes. Ziggy could have been the better person and learned, hey, this was done to me. It hurt me. I'm not going to do this to Six Up and leave it alone. Now the jerks, having her ex who passed away's family on their live, she wrapped Six Up in all that little group. So their defense is that the ex's family reached out to them, right? But Ziggy's saying...
Your opinion, you said, right? I'm just making sure this is your opinion.
No, the jerks had the family on. But yeah, I mean, overall, it is my opinion. But they're saying in their defense...
Oh, okay, I didn't know they had her family on. I thought they just talked to him. I didn't know they had him up on the panel and shit.
No, the daughters were on live talking about Ziggy. It was crazy. It's all wrong.
What the fuck? Yeah, see, I didn't know that either.
But they're saying just like, well, they reached out to us to defend Jim, okay? Well, this ex of Six Up reached out to Ziggy. She didn't go looking for him. So it's the same exact thing, in my opinion, but it's just different circumstances.
How is that not real life?
Exactly. It's the same thing, but different circumstance. And it's all wrong.
I have a question. I have a question for you, Just Samantha. That situation when they jumped on the Jerks' panel, was that like just a random situation, like at an open panel, or was that just like planned situation?
No, they say that they were contacted and that they wanted to defend what she was saying because, yeah, she was wild. She dealt with the death. He passed away. The car got taken. All of her friends turned on her. Lolita turned out to be
No. I'm trying to ask the whole sick Jerks thing. I'm trying to narrow it down. The Jerks things when they had the family member, like family members of the deceased boyfriend. Is that what you said? Was that like was that a planned live, or was that just like a randomly, just like this person was in the chat and he said, "Oh, here's a link" or something like that?
No, I totally, in my opinion, believe it was planned. They talked beforehand. Because they said the girl reached out to them. So you got to talk to them, reach out.
Hold on, I was going to say Pearl's back here. I'm guessing she's wanting to come up and clear the jerk's name or something.
Okay.
I'll mute myself.
What's up, Pearl?
Hi, I am not going to stay on here long. I am not very well at the moment, but I just want to clarify.
Oh, I was just wondering if you were coming as yourself or if you were going to talk as me today. Since I know y'all.
that was Eliza. That was Eliza, not me.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me get my thoughts straight. I've not long woken up and I've got a temperature.
Then you shouldn't be up here anyways.
No, but this is really important because I'm worried about Jim's family. I don't really care. I don't care what people actually say about the Jerks. It doesn't bother me. Going back to Jim, who was Ziggy's ex that died, who she took a protection order out on a couple of weeks before he passed and was accusing him of terrible things. People seem to forget that. Jim's sisters are not strangers to YouTube. They've had channels for years. When we started talking about the situation, they contacted us through a third party. The daughters did not speak to us. The daughters did not come on live. That's a lie. We spoke to Jim's sisters, women well over the age of adulthood, who wanted to share their opinion.
Right,
we did not want to put them. We didn't put them on live. No, they didn't come on live. Listen.
But you still went real life, though.
Who went real life?
Wouldn't that be considered going real life, speaking to her kids' family, her husband's family?
Well, I would imagine it would. Are we not allowed to do that? Then give their side.
On you, wouldn't you feel like I would feel like that was real life to me if somebody did that to me? If somebody did that to you, would you feel like that was real life? They reached out to your husband's kids. I would. I don't know.
Once again, the sisters, through a third party, reached out to the Jerks.
It doesn't matter, though.
They were very concerned about what was being said about Jim. On the day that Jim died, Ziggy did a live, calling his daughters everything under the sun. That is why the family were concerned.
So you were like, you're letting me fight for family?
If I can finish. The family were accused of taking everything from Ziggy. Remember, they weren't married. They had split up. Ziggy had a different boyfriend at the time, but somehow Ziggy thinks that the family should have handed everything over to him. Make that make sense to me.
I'm still trying to make sense as to why you're fighting for her ex-husband's kids.
I'm not. I'm telling you that they contacted us and they wanted to speak, and we didn't want to do a live. We said, if you want to speak, we'll record something with you. You can then play it to all the family. We will remove anything that you have an issue with, and then if you still want it playing, we'll play it. And that's exactly what we did. And if you go back, all that is said. The whole family listened to what the sister said to us. They asked for 2 things to be removed. We removed them, and then we planned a live and we played it. And that was it. It was done. We didn't go back over the situation with the sisters again. Ziggy has bad feelings about it. I understand why she has bad feelings about it. That family also has a right to speak up for their dead brother, whose reputation was being dragged. If you ever see the things that were said about him in that failed protection order, your mind would melt that suddenly it's being presented as a fantastic love story. That's all I want to say. I don't care if people want to criticise the Jerks.
Jim's 59 years old, right?
He's 59 years old, and he died in bed with his new girlfriend.
But they
he died in bed with his new girlfriend.
I mean, I have a question. Do you
I
think?
don't really care about his new girlfriend.
Wait. I have a question for Pearl.
No, the
Do you
point I'm
think
making is that he'd moved on.
Yeah, I just have a question.
Ziggy
Do you
had a new
think?
boyfriend.
No, okay.
I
Why would
understand,
you
but
have
wait.
okay, hold on, B10. Why would you have if they both moved on? Why would you have her kids up to speak on her? Or his kids
I
to
just
speak on
told.
her?
Excuse me. I've just told you twice. We didn't.
Yeah, you
speak
said
to
that
kids.
you said a rumor was being spread, and you wanted to clear up the rumors that was being spread. But did that actually help the situation, or anything? Like, did it stop clarify the stop of the rumors, bro, or what? I just want to make sure.
It stopped her talking on his family,
Okay.
and they had a chance to put across that he hadn't. How upset he was by the fact that suddenly the protection order was taken out on him, and I think they have every right to talk about their brother. I know
Yeah,
that people.
I just think it gets a little worrying, like when you put like an
Having another content creator's family up on your panel, whether they reached out or not, is going real life, and it's the same thing we're going hard on Ziggy about doing to Six Up right now. It's the same exact.
The jerks haven't said anything about Ziggy having this guy on, other than why don't you wait and see? Where have we gone in hard on Ziggy talking to?
No, I said we are up here.
Oh,
We are.
right,
We're
okay.
going, but you guys did the same exact thing, is what I'm saying.
Pearl, I apologize for confusing I thought it was the daughter. It was a while ago, so I apologize for making that
Okay.
mistake.
I just wanted to clarify because I wouldn't have spoken to the daughters. I think that speaking to an adult who's had personal experiences of grief just after someone has died is a different thing to speaking to someone who's just lost their father. I wouldn't have done it even if we'd have been asked.
I just worry about like the possible retaliation, like because like you're not, it's not like a neutral channel where they're talking. This person jumped on your channel, which is basically enemy territory, and I was, that was why I was asking, like, was there any sort of retaliation from Ziggy against these people because they jumped on your panel?
She'd already made her retaliation. That the first couple of days after he passed, she did two lives, and she talked about that they'd come and taken her car and all this sort of routine. It wasn't her car; it was Jim's car.
But what is it?
They had to sort things out. You know what it's like when somebody passes; everything has to be accounted for. Just because somebody has the use of something, it doesn't mean it's ownership.
Yeah, it's kind of their business.
She said terrible things. She said terrible things about his children.
Wow.
Well, I mean, that's up to the children to bring like kind of a legal thing. They could be like, listen, cease and desist.
Stormy, I've just been telling everybody that we spoke to the sister. Where am I denying? Oh my God.
You're reading the chat? Yeah, don't. But just ignore the chat.
Yeah, they're not disputing it. She was talking to someone else in the chat.
But I don't understand though. Like, so he passes away, and they come and find the jerks on YouTube.
And you guys just so happen to be
Right,
ex-mods.
do you realise that they already had YouTube channels?
So then why didn't
Do you
they go
realise that they already listened to Ziggy's channel?
Why?
And from that,
did they pass away? Why did they wait for him to pass away to do that?
because she didn't start attacking the family until Jim had passed.
Okay. So
And
they knew who
seriously,
you guys were because they listened to her channel?
I'm sorry?
They knew who you guys were, the jerks, because they listened to Ziggy's channel?
Yes.
Yeah, so they just happened to reach out to you guys and...
No. I've just said to you twice. A third party reached out to us and said,
Same difference.
the family
Same
wants to
difference. I'm
speak.
telling you twice, same difference. You still engaged. You still did the real life shit with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you did.
So you think then that they shouldn't be able to reach out
Well,
to
creator,
anybody
no.
and put their side?
They should speak for themselves, but I don't think they should go straight to you guys as ex-mods and you guys should involve yourselves and go into
Yeah, I mean, like realistically,
I wonder what you're doing talking about Six Up now.
Okay, we're going over
Talking about
Ziggy's
Six
stream.
Up's boyfriend, and
We're reviewing
yes, but
Ziggy's
you're
stream.
playing it. You're
So,
playing it in the
here's what
same
it
way
is.
as we played an interview.
We didn't talk to her boyfriend
No,
behind the scenes.
We didn't reach out to anyone's family. We didn't reach out to any creators. We didn't speak to Six Up's boyfriend. We are going over Ziggy's fucking live stream. We are reviewing it. People do that all the
Let's try
time.
though.
Yeah,
And we didn't reach out to the family. Somebody reached out to us.
just so if
Well, if some bullshit third party reached out to us, we wouldn't have the boyfriend over here. So
No,
Bullshit
I
third
would not
party,
have
friend of the
I would
family.
never
Please
have
don't
Six Up
insinuate things
boyfriend
about someone that
coming
you don't know and I don't know.
Have a good day, Tia. Have a good day, Tia, Pearl, whatever you go by today. Have a good day. I'm
I
done.
mean, I just think like the thing is that most likely it would aggravate the situation by having another
It's
channel.
okay. You guys want to? You can sit over there and dox heels out and talk all kinds of shit and go real life, and then want to? No.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning or afternoon for you, I believe, right?
It's the middle of the afternoon. Middle of the afternoon for me. I hope I'm not interrupting. Is it okay if I just say a few things, or if there's anything that you want to ask me? But I really
Of
want
course.
to, because I was the person who spoke on Queen Bees. I went up because there was somebody already up on the panel saying that we'd had the daughters up on a live panel talking about the situation. And when I said we didn't speak to the daughters, I meant we didn't have the daughters on live. We didn't speak to the daughters on live. So that's the one clarification. The second would be, we were reached out to by a third party. We didn't reach out first. This screenshot does say what it says, which is that Tits was talking to the daughters. Because we made two separate memorial videos, you can go on my site, my Pearl De Vere channel. There's one memorial video for Jim that is the choice of the sisters' music and photos, and the other memorial video is the daughter's choice of music and some slightly different images in it. That was part of the reason why the Facebook connection was made, because that was an easy way for them to share images, and also because we wanted to check that it was completely true that they were okay with the sisters speaking. It's been presented in a very different way. Fair enough. Ziggy wants to make it that way. That's up to her. She says that she doesn't want this to keep going over. Well, now this has been dragged over 3 or 4 channels last night, and I'm being called a liar everywhere. Then we're going to address it on our show tomorrow. We don't have a choice. These things, the things are objectively correct. They're screenshots, except that the timing and that the way they're talked about is incorrect. I want to make very clear, I never said that we never spoke to the daughters. I meant we never had the daughters on our live. We never questioned them on a panel. We never interviewed them. Looking back on it, I wish we'd never done any of it. You'll see that there are 2, you might have to go back a bit, there are 2 separate Jim memorial videos.
Would this be one?
That will be one of them. Where's the other one?
Yeah. Well,
You send it privately to the girls. I can upload it. There are 2 separate ones, but on the live that we did with the sister, we played both memorial videos. We played the sister's choice of music one and then the daughter's one. And if you go back on that live, you can see them both. And I do specifically say in the intro, if we can't get to it, right, one of the problems that we've got is that the original email, the Circle Jerk email, was controlled by Lolita. So getting back to all the detail is going to be almost impossible for us. But I do believe that Eliza has got the screenshots of the first contact that was made with us, and I believe that's also on the Circle Jerk channel, but we'll bring it up tomorrow night again. Yeah, we can show that we were contacted first and that predates the screenshot there. Yeah, I think that's about it. Other than that, it's going to be so long-winded that we're going to go over it tomorrow night. You can't have it both ways. You can't say that you don't want this to be talked about and then bring it up again not correctly and then not expect us to speak. I wouldn't have gone up on Queen Bees apart from the fact that that was already being said about us, and I wasn't going to leave that up there. There's no way I would have had his children up on panel. For those of you who remember those lives and the way that Ziggy attacked his children on those lives, yeah, I accept that she was speaking out of her own grief. Those children were devastated. You don't start tearing them up in public. You're not the only person going through an experience of grief. Like I said, if I had the time over again, I would not have got involved in speaking to the sisters. I'm very glad actually that I spoke to them, but I wouldn't want to speak to them in public. Privately, it was wonderful to hear the way that they spoke about Jim and to see another side of him. And
she did it.
Presented that somehow we interfered and that's why she couldn't go to the funeral is ridiculous. The funeral took place in the first week of November. The reason that was a problem was because of her own attacks on the children. We were not involved in that in any way. I understand her anger towards us. I don't regret standing up for Cindy. I don't. If I had my time over again, I wouldn't speak publicly to the family.
That's all you can do is live and learn. I think emotions were high.
Very, yeah, they were very.
Yeah,
and we defended Ziggy, absolutely. The other thing that's been said that we call CPS, never would I ever. Our third live was a whole live talking about how wrong it was that somebody would call CPS on Ziggy. You can go back, it's on Circle Jerk. It's called something like, you can roast somebody without burning down the house. That's the title, something like that. And we talked about CPS being called on AB and Benny and various people and saying it is wrong on YouTube to weaponize CPS against another creator. I firmly believe that, absolutely, and I would never do it. Even now, as much as Ziggy has called me a liar and everything under the sun in the last 24 hours, I still wouldn't do it. I think it's wrong fundamentally. Those are services for children in desperate need. Unless you are directly in real life observing a child being harmed, you don't call CPS. The idea of somebody states away or even in a different country just having a grudge with somebody online and using CPS, it's wrong. I wouldn't do it. Whatever you want to think about me, the people out there. Sorry?
I'm sorry. I was just saying CPS is already an overwhelmed system that has actual cases to look into, and I agree.
They really, really do. And honestly, there are lots of things I don't mind being called on YouTube. It is what it is. But to say that I would call CPS, I get annoyed by. And to say that I was lying about us talking to the daughters, I get offended by. We did not have them on live. That was the point I got up on Queen Bee's to say, because somebody was already saying that we had. Yeah, contact was made with the daughters, obviously, but we didn't reach out to them first. I don't know what to say about it. It's sort of like, if you wanted this all finished, I don't know why you keep digging it up, Ziggy. Now we're going to have to talk about it again, because I am not going to be called a liar and not defend myself.
Can you address this comment on the screen where it says, was it okay for Siggy to contact Lolita's ex, who couldn't see his child because he had child endangerment charges on him? She had him on
this was the
panel.
whole thing. Oh, Lord. Okay, Ziggy had several lives where she wanted to reveal Lolita as not being the person that we thought she was. And she had a point to a certain extent. Lolita was not the person that we thought she was. But what she didn't have a right to do was to reveal by contacting Lolita's ex-husband and his new wife, who were in a custody dispute of nearly a decade, and who it turned out had protection orders where he couldn't have contact with Lolita and couldn't have contact with that child, because when that baby was 3 months old, he publicly assaulted Lolita while drunk, and that baby was in between the two of them. They didn't produce to present that, and I'm mentioning it now because the only thing that was presented was every terrible thing about Lolita that they could find under the sun. She did multiple shows about it where she had this ex-partner and the new wife on. So the idea that real life is only a thing that happens to Ziggy and not a thing that Ziggy does is just a barefaced lie.
Was this prior to the situation with Siggy's ex? Like, did she reach out to Lolita's ex after?
She did it after, yeah. It was totally a revenge thing.
Right.
And to a certain extent, you could argue that, well, Lolita talked to Jim's family, and therefore the difference is that Ziggy started off by attacking Jim's family on a live. That's why a third party contacted us and said the family would like to have some way of answering back. Now, like I said, if I had my life over again, I wouldn't do it. I would still enjoy talking to them in private because they are lovely ladies, and I really feel for their experience of losing their brother when he was relatively young and so suddenly, and then all this happening in public. I don't regret allowing her to vent. I do regret that we went public with it, but I can't change that now. No, right. I wouldn't. No. If I had it over to do again, no, I wouldn't. I would not.
Well, and my point of asking is because if it was done in like a revengeful way, which it sounds like it was, well then, does one get to still be a victim that it was done to them despite doing it back to somebody else? You know what I mean? Like, does that kind of like tie? Or is it a tie now? You both done it, so now you're both guilty?
There is absolutely no moral high ground here apart from Jim's family. I will defend them absolutely their right to speak out about their brother and father. It is incredibly unfair what has been said about him online, and even just the sort of monetization of, you know, having the spirit box and connecting to him in the spirit world. I don't care whether you believe that or not. You don't have to do that online, do you? If you believe that you can talk to him, or, you know, in some spiritual way, I love that for you. I've lost a lot of people in my life. I wish I did believe that, and I wish that I could communicate with the people that I've lost. But doing it on live, you know, while people are fucking cash-apping, pardon my language, cash-apping or whatever, I just think that's a different level. But if you believe that and you believe you can communicate with them, great, I love that for you. But it's still somebody's brother and somebody's father, and they might not necessarily want that, you know. And you weren't with him when he passed. You know, you weren't together. In fact, you were as far apart as it's possible to get, given that you were trying to get a protection order on him at one stage. And now, of course, we're getting this whole, oh, I'm getting a cease and desist out on the jerk because I'm going to take a civil action. Do it, Ziggy. If you feel that you need to do that and you feel that something criminal has happened, do it. Do it.
That's true. If you feel like it's criminal, follow through with it. I guess so. The only problem that seems to be, because I know that Jam is Siggy's mod, and Jam is saying, well, Lolita's family reached out to Siggy, therefore it's okay. But you're basically saying the same thing, that Jim's family reached out to you.
We didn't have a whole discord with Jim's family, and you know that's not correct, Jam. Please. By all means, argue it. You know that I can't prove it, absolutely. But we all know the truth of that.
That's why I said, is it calling out behaviors, or is it calling out people? Because some of the people that are calling you all out, I know they have prejudgments against you, or, you know, the jerks in general. And some of the people that are simply just calling out Siggy, they have prejudgments against Siggy. So
absolutely.
It's not the behavior that is the problem. Mm-hmm. You know, it's basically...
Oh, I agree, absolutely. And I will own up to my own bias. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have a bias against Siggy. And you're right, Mrs. Fletcher on the screen, two wrongs don't make a right. Couldn't agree with you more. Eventually, this will have to end, but you can't say that you want this to end and then be on like 3 different panels in a night talking about it, and then expect us not to at least acknowledge what's been said. If you think I'm just going to sit here and have my name dragged through the mud and not speak up for myself, that's not happening. Of course I'm going to speak up for myself, but I'm willing to acknowledge that, looking back on it, we did something in emotion that we should not have done. Like I said, I don't regret talking to them in private. I wish we hadn't have put it on live, but I can't change that now.
Right. So you're saying you would have done things differently. Absolutely. I know that's a question good when you asked if you would do the same thing again.
No, definitely not publicly. I think that if they'd have wanted to talk to us privately, I probably still would have, because I can't imagine saying to somebody, "Oh no, I'm not interested in hearing the other side about your brother." I have no idea what you're calling out at the moment, Brianna, but I'm sure you've got a fair point. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. I just feel that yesterday was madness.
I just wanted, thank you, Granny, for allowing us up. I just wanted to concur with Pearl. If I could go back to that time, I would have done things differently. Just the backing away of Ziggy, which I did. We all did, especially after the untimely and unfortunate passing of Jim. That's when we started backing away, because the way she spoke of his family members, it was embarrassing. I didn't want to be associated with that channel anymore. But to be honest, yeah, I do agree with Pearl. If we could go back, I don't think I would have spoke to the family either, even though I understand why they wanted to speak out and say something, and they wanted a platform to do it. I don't think YouTube is the best place for that. I've learned some lessons here since I've been here for a while, but I'm definitely, okay, go ahead, Greg. I definitely learned some things aren't for YouTube. YouTube is a very fickly, if that's the word, place, and yeah, and real life is a word that's thrown around a lot. I think that's something we need to delve a little deeper into. Real life, you went real life, so did you go real life? Okay, if that's going real life, then I guess that's what we did. As far as ever doxing or looking up anybody's information and putting it out on the internet, I'm sorry, I'm not taking that, because we've never done that. But yeah, we spoke to Jim's sisters. So I don't know. Plus, it's YouTube, and I think a lot of it is the drama aspect of it. It's better to believe the lie, or
Yes.
and carry on with that, because then the drama say the person owns up to their wrongs, or when we found out who Lolita really was and we had to acknowledge that wasn't good enough either. But no, what I was saying is, anything, if you admit to your wrongdoings, if you say you could go back and redo it, what you would do differently, that's not going to be good enough.
Nope.
When we admitted that, hey, you all were right about Lolita, that wasn't good enough either. Somehow there was some mystery behind that as well. It's just always, YouTube is going to YouTube. Social media is going to do what social media is going to do. They don't want to accept it, and that's okay. It's fine. I know who we are, and I know why we done what we done.